Do a little dramatic introduction here. Good evening. Okay, sorry. Hey guys, this is St. John from ADHD, and today is a very, very special occasion for me. It is my 1 year anniversary for my autism diagnosis. Well, I guess it depends on how technical you're being. I mean, I got the piece of paper from the doctor later. So not today, not 1 year ago today, but it was 1 year ago today that I was sitting in the chair at the doctor's office, and he said, "That's it. I'm diagnosing you with autism." And then there was a little bit, procedural stuff, a little rigmarole, and then the paper came later. So, but today was the day 1 year ago that I was told I was autistic. So far as I'm concerned, this is the 1 year anniversary of my autism diagnosis, and I've got a lot of feelings. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is my Autiversary, as my friend on Threads, my friend Rachel McDove at _Allurian said. So they told me that they didn't come up with that. They got that from somewhere and couldn't remember where, but that they're who I got it from. So happy Autiversary to me. It's been quite a year. It's been a year of ups and downs. The downs haven't really been related to my autism. Uh, there was a little bit of sadness, in the diagnosis, because I wish I'd found out earlier. The that weird kid me went through so much stuff, not understanding why. And so there's a tinge of sadness, but it's like a teaspoon within a gallon. The overwhelming emotions were relief and joy and understanding and self-compassion, self-forgiveness. It gave me community. It gave me identity. Oh, by the way, my shirt. Autism. I just run on a different operating system, which is actually this great double entendre for me, because I'm also a Linux user. So I run on a different operating system in more than one way, right? But I think this is a very great shirt. It starts conversations. It's so true too. I mean, we're not defective. We're not broken. We're not wrong. We're not, you know, uh, any of those things. We're different. Okay. There's the question of, are we disabled? Is this a disability? Is this a superpower? I take the middle road on that. I think it's both. It can, it, you know, it can be a tremendous strength in certain regards. It can be a tremendous weakness in certain regards. It is a disability, but it's not only a disability, is my opinion. I uh, I feel a lot better about myself knowing that I'm autistic, knowing that I'm ADHD, knowing that I'm OCD, knowing that I'm clinically depressed with anxiety, or not clinically depressed. I'm clinically anxious. You know, it makes sense of all the things that's never made sense before. Over the course of a year, what's changed? Not a ton has changed in my day-to-day life. I mean, some things have, but what's mostly changed is my sense of self. My sense of self, my sense of identity, my sense of purpose, my sense of community, the dynamic of the relationship between my wife and I, and my kids and I, and my parents and I, and my brother and I, and my coworkers and I. You know, when you learn you're autistic, you learn there's certain things that you can do things about, and certain things that will never change. And so, it can help you focus a little more on the things that are, what things you can do, and then it also lets you let go of things. Certain things that you can stop fighting or trying, beating yourself up for. There have been, I've asked for a couple, some small accommodations at work, nothing major, and like being able to split my time between the upstairs desk and the cube farm next to my coworkers, surrounded by people, and down in the basement where I can be more or less alone. Uh, there are potential opportunities that I could talk about that I won't talk about that are in the works because specifically because I'm autistic. That feels good. That feels validating. That feels exciting. As far as masking, yeah, I think that I've started to unmask a little bit, but there have been a lot of people who have said that unmasking is really uncomfortable because the person you thought you were, you realize you never were, and you learn to meet this new person who you always were. And I haven't experienced a ton of discomfort, and I've changed in a lot of little ways, but not in a lot of big ways. And so, maybe I haven't done a lot of unmasking this year. Maybe that's a task for next year. Maybe that's something we do in the second year. I don't know. I mean, 1 year in is still really early in the journey. It feels. I realize I'm all over the place here. I realize that. This is not masterwork content. This is just me wanting to provide an update on a milestone and just doing it off the cuff. I I decided I was going to celebrate in a very autistic way, though. A very autistic way to celebrate this anniversary, and that's I'm ordering the exact same food from the exact same restaurant as the food I ate on that magic night 1 year ago today. I have a bottle of cheap wine, the same kind that I drank that night, and I'm going to drink it tonight. I One other thing that happened a year ago is it was just by sheer coincidence. Just by sheer coincidence, it was also the same day that Starfield launched on Xbox, and so as a Game Pass member, it was free, and so I downloaded it and I played it. And unfortunately, the Starfield bug didn't bite. I got about 3 or 4 hours in, and then kind of lost interest. I tried picking it up again recently, and it really wasn't very I wasn't very successful at reconnecting with it. So maybe that's all she wrote for me with Starfield. But anyway, I like the idea as part of this tradition of eating the same food and drinking the same drink every Autiversary, of doing something gaming or TV related that is something that either, I mean, ideally something that debuts on the exact same day, but at least something that debuted very close to it. My wife and I are Packers fans, and Green Bay Packers, American football, for people who aren't from the United States and don't really know American football. But I'm a Packers fan. She's a diehard Packers fan, and tonight is the first game of the season for the Packers. It's they're going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, and so that's what we're going to watch tonight. I'm ordering in my food from a local restaurant called Taste of China. I'm ordering General Tso chicken. I'm ordering combination egg foo young. I'm ordering steamed pot stickers, and then for my little boy, for Wyatt, I'm ordering shrimp lo mein. And then for Jody and August, I ordered in Pizza Hut. Just stuffed crust pepperoni pizza. And then we're gonna watch the Packers game, and we're gonna drink and make merry and all that stuff. In fact, I actually have some drinks out here on the porch. I have. It's funny. The highlight drink is actually really cheap wine because that's what I drank last year. But out here on the porch, I'm supplementing it with some fine. Well, fine is overstatement, but cheap. Definitely not cheap. Scotch. I've got the Glenlivet. I've got Lefroy, which, by the way, if you've never tried Lefroy, it's an experience. It's very smoky, very peaty. I love it. I love it. But the only ways it's got an iodine taste to it. The only way I can really describe it makes it sound horrible. It's like drinking liquid smoke with a little bit of burnt rubber in it. So, bottoms up. I know I make it sound that makes it sound terrible, but I really do think it's very good. And then a little bit of Glenlivet. And then I also have, maybe this is unwise with as late in the day as it is, but some iced cold brew coffee. All perfect compliments to this pipe here. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, never once. I did have a phase. I talked about this in my last video. I did have a phase where I was on this. I would do 3 or 4 cigars a week, but that never stuck. So the extent of my tobacco use is sometimes coming out on the porch with a little bit of pipe. I do think nothing says indeed like a pipe, though, which is good. That's good. So anyway, I'm out here on the porch waiting for the food to be delivered, recording a quick video. And then I'm going to go inside, eat Chinese food, watch American football, drink cheap wine, and hopefully have a very enjoyable night. As far as what's next on the horizon for me now that I've entered my second year as a known autistic ADHD person, a known ADHDer, which, by the way, if you never picked up on it, my username ADHD is a nod to ADHD. It's pronounced the same way, but it's also meant to convey like weirdo and high def. So basically it means ADHD weirdo. So if anyone was confused by what that username meant. And then the subtitle, The Spectrum of St. John of the Spectrum. First of all, that phrase is just delicious to me. That just feels so good that it's like this full circle that completes itself. Maybe that's my autism on display. But, it's supposed to be the spectrum of me who is part of a spectrum so much bigger than me. So the spectrum of St. John of the spectrum. For next year, I hope to, maybe some of those opportunities I talked about but didn't elaborate on. Maybe some of those will happen, and we can have some big movement there. I want to explore the possibility, or the prospect of unmasking more, becoming more authentically me, unapologetically me. I've always felt that way. I've felt for the longest time that that's exactly what I am and what I'm doing, but maybe that'll be a more focused thing. Social media, I've got ADHD accounts everywhere, but the only place where I do anything with it other than the occasional YouTube upload is on Threads, which is, as I'm sure everyone knows, is Meta's Twitter equivalent. That's really the only place I'm really active as ADHD. But if you're out there on Threads, I would love for you to connect with me, and I'd be happy to connect with you. I want to fill my social media, especially my Threads, with neurodivergence, with fellow autistics, with fellow ADHDers, because we understand each other in a way that neurotypicals don't. And I'll try to do another video about this whole double empathy thing, but it's very true. It's very, very true. And so, anyway, that was rambling. That was chaotic. I'm going to listen back to it, and I may not even upload it. It's just like, holy crap, this is all over the place. But it's a major, something incredible happened today. When I got home, there was an Amazon package, and I was not expecting an Amazon package, so I had no idea what was going on. And it was a gift from an anonymous giver. Here's what the gift card said. A gift for you. May the world always see you for who you are. Awesome. From the universe of awesomeness. I was reading it backwards, so it was a little hard to do. It's a card game. A game called Overlap. Overlap, a deceptively simple card game. So I have no idea who gave this to me. I have no idea at all. But if you're out there, if you're watching this and you're the one who got me that, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't even know whether it's intended as a gift for my Autiversary. Is it just sheer coincidence that it arrived on my Autiversary, or is this a deliberate gift for my autism? Either way, I plan on hopefully busting it out this weekend. Probably not tonight, but this weekend sometime. I'd like to bust it out with the family and give it a try. So that was a really, really pleasant surprise, really great thing. So anyway, I'm going to listen back to this. If it's as terrible as I think it is, if it's as terrible as it sounds in my head, I may not even upload it. I may scrap it. I may try again. I may not try again. But if it's way better than I think it is, then I'll upload it. So if you're seeing this, then I was happier with it than I thought I'd be. Anyway, um, wanted to do an update on the Autiversary. It's been a pretty good day. It bodes to be a really good night, and I hope it is. And I hope you're having a good night. But in the meanwhile, this is St. John with AudiHD, signing off.